Hello folks, Sean Mize here, and now we're getting to the good stuff. We're going to begin working on content and email generation. Now in this video we probably won't get to actually writing any emails, but I anticipate doing that in the next couple emails. So what I want to do now is kind of talk about what is content and how we can find it, get it, use it, create it, etc., etc. So a bit of a candid discussion here. I'm going to hopefully give you some examples, etc., etc. So what is content? Well, content online, without going into a stiff definition, content online is things that people can see that you have and they can read it. So content could be an article that you find online. Content could be a blog post. Content could be a forum posting. Content could be a web page posting. Content could even be an ebook or a PDF. If you think about it, content could also be a physical book that you pick up in the bookstore. Content could be an email. So, and really we're only talking here about written content. You could also have spoken content. You could have video content like this is. So content is various ways that people are able to hear from you, that you're able to communicate to them. So it could be articles, it could be blog posts, it could be emails. So the question then is, how do you choose content ideas? Now obviously we're assuming that you have a niche idea, and for the purpose of this training, you are going to be selling by sending out emails that contain content. However, we're building a real business here, so the business is probably going to have more than just emails. It's probably going to have blog posts, it's probably going to have articles, and it's probably even going to write a book. Hey, now, all of those other things are not necessary for the strict interpretation of the business I'm building, which is email. However, let me ask you this. If we can find a way to multi-purpose everything that we do so that you end up with more than just a bunch of emails going out that are making you money, what if you could also write articles and blog posts and write a book all at the same time? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a method of being able to do all of that. Okay? And the way that I do it with my clients is I have them do what's called a 10 by 10 matrix. I'm going to give you an example of a 10 by 10 matrix. Okay? I'm not going to write out an entire matrix, and I'm also going to do it in a different niche so that it's easy for you to apply to your niche. Okay? Because if I do it in the niche we're doing for this business, then it just might be more difficult. So let's say that the niche that you are going to go into is Whole Foods. Okay, so our 10 by 10 matrix, I'm just going to do like a 3 by 4 matrix, but a 10 by 10 matrix would have 10 topics. We're going to use 4. We're going to do a 4 by 4. The sample is going to be a 4 by 4, but for your business, you're going to do a 10 by 10. Okay? So under Whole Foods, you could have introduction to Whole Foods. You could have classes of Whole Foods. You could have whole food vegetables, and you could have whole food fruits. Okay, now, if you were to keep going and do a full 10 by 10, then, 5 could be the nutritional aspects of Whole Foods. 6 could be chicken Whole Foods. 7 could be meat Whole Foods. 8 could be supplementation with Whole Foods, and so on. Okay, now, under Introduction to Whole Foods, we're going to have 4 ideas. So we'll just call them A, B, C, and D. So A is what are Whole Foods? Okay. B is how many kinds of Whole Foods are there? C is what are, let's say, I don't know all about Whole Foods, so I'm just, let's say, how does supplementation affect Whole Foods? We'll call it Whole Food Diet. Okay, now, if I was writing a book on this, I'd just keep going, and I would make it literally a 10 by 10. Okay, this is 4 by 4. So you see 4 topics with 4 sub-ideas. So what are the classes of whole foods? Maybe we've got vegetables, fruits. Okay, I have no idea if chicken is a whole food, but we're just going to call it that. Okay. Fish, because this is just imaginary. Okay? These are the classes, and then now we have whole food vegetables. So we could have maybe a cruciferous vegetables. How about root vegetables? I don't even know if these are appropriate classes, but I'm just throwing them in here so that we have a 4x4. Okay, so we have root vegetables. How about leafy vegetables? And what's one more kind of vegetables? Carrot type vegetables. So I'm thinking about the ones that have like I don't even know what that's called, the pigmentation that gives it. So there's a few different, I think there's a few different vegetables that are in that class. And then we have whole food fruits. So we might have, again, I don't really know this, we could have tree fruits, right? We could have vine fruits. We could have flavonoid fruits. And how about one more? We could have, what's another kind of fruit? Let's just call them ground fruits. I don't know if there are ground fruits or not, but here we have a 4x4. Actually, with 2 we have 5, but we have 4x4. We have 16 ideas here. Okay, so you do this for your niche. I'm not going to do a live one for my niche that I'm doing because I've done so many of them before that it's going to be, and plus I'm really kind of, I feel like I'm giving you one extra step because I'm not going to try to write a book for this niche. I'm not going to try to write a bunch of articles for this niche. I'm just using an email campaign. But I want you to be able to, because I have other businesses, I want you to be able to totally develop yours out. And if you do this 10x10 matrix, you'll really be able to build yours out. So what could we do with this 4x4 matrix? What if we were to write a page of information about an introduction? A page about whole foods, a page about how many kinds, a page about supplementation. And if you were an expert in whole foods, you ought to be able to write a page about vegetables, a page about fruits. Now with 4x4, that gives us 16 topics. If we were to write a page on each one, we'd have a 16-page, we couldn't really call it a book, I guess, with 16 pages, but we'd have a little booklet or a pamphlet, right? We could use this as our squeeze page giveaway. Now let's take this to the next level. Imagine if we did 10x10, and so instead of 4 ideas with 4 sub-ideas, we had 10 ideas with 10 sub-ideas, and we wrote 1 page on each idea. We'd have a 100-page book, wouldn't we? Okay, now, what if we were to use each one of these topics as an email topic? So one email would be introduction to whole foods. One email would be about what are whole foods. One email would be about how many kinds of whole foods are out there. And if this was a 10x10, this would give us 100 ideas in your niche for your email campaign. Just 1 email a day with one of these topics here. Okay. What if you were to take out of those 100 emails, you were to submit 50 of those emails, the content of it, as articles to eZine articles? What if you were to put 50 of them on your website under blog posts? Okay, now notice out of 100, I'm saying 50 and 50. I don't like to put the same content on my site as I submit to eZine articles. I just don't like to. Okay, there's a bunch of search engine reasons for that. Please just take my word for it. It's outside the scope of this training. And just take my word. You don't want the same content. So what you could do is you could put 1 email as a blog post, and I'm going to model this for you later, but you could put 1 email as a blog post on your website, put another email as an article at eZine Articles, and then have backlinks going to your blog posts. Okay. Now you might say, well, what if somebody reads the article and then they get the same email? Aren't they going to feel like there's some duplication? Well, yeah, but the odds of somebody reading all 50 of your articles and then all 50 of your blog posts and reading all 100 of your email posts are just so slim it's not even funny. Okay? And the few people that do, they're the people that just really want a lot of information from you. They're probably your buyers anyway. So just don't worry about it. Let me just say that. Let's just don't worry about it. Okay? So what if somebody reads 3 articles, 3 blog posts, and out of 100 emails, they're going to get 6 that they've already read? It really doesn't matter. They're going to get 94 that they have not read. Okay, so how do we research content? Okay, by the way, your action, your action step from what I'm sharing with you right now should be to go create your own 10 by 10 matrix. And on this video page, beneath it, I've created a link to a 10 by 10 matrix guide to help you in more detail create your own 10 by 10 matrix. Okay. Now let's talk about researching content. How do you research content? Well, there's a number of different ways. Let's just say that your niche is, let's say it's Whole Foods. Okay? How would you research Whole Foods? Well, there's 2 different ways. One, you can go to a bookstore, a local bookstore, and buy some books on Whole Foods. One, you could do online research. Or 3, you could go to an online bookstore. Okay? So let's say that we were going to do some research on Whole Foods. We would just go to Google or Yahoo or wherever you go and research Whole Foods. Okay, so if we go to here is in Wikipedia. Here's a whole bunch of information about Whole Foods, and it sends you down a line. It says go look at natural foods, and then in natural foods there's a whole bunch of information in natural foods. Okay, it gives you the definitions, and then whole food supplements. You could probably do all your research right here. Look at this, all of these ideas. So every time, right here in Wikipedia, just keep clicking, you get more and more ideas. You could write an article on every one of these ideas, couldn't you? Maybe not here, but under whole grains, for example. You could write an article on wheat. You could write an article on oat. You could write an article on barley. You could write an article on maize. You could write an article on brown rice. Look at this. You could write articles on teff flour and popcorn and triticale flour and rolled oats and groats and pasta and bread and whole wheat flour and white rice. You say, well, what would I do? Let's click on white rice. Look, could you not read this and then write an article that goes into more detail by clicking on this parboiled rice and learning all about parboiled rice? This is where you can do your research. Okay. Now, another way to do research is go to easinarticles.com and look up Whole Foods. Little spelling error. Okay. So there's an article here on whole food supplements. Okay. You could read this article, learn all about it, close the article, write your own. You could go to an online bookstore and buy books about Whole Foods. Let me ask you this. If you were to do research for 20 minutes a day for a month on your new topic, would you not start to know a lot about your topic? I mean, you could start out from scratch right now with no niche, with no knowledge, and in 30 days spending 20 minutes. Look, we only spent just now 2 minutes or 3 minutes Googling, and look how much information you were able to see. Now, we didn't read it all, but if you're serious about building a business, you might as well just learn the topic. Okay. Another way is to find guest writers. Okay, so you could go over to, there's a few different websites where you could hire writers. Okay, so you've got freelancer.com, you've got elance.com. Okay, and let's just mosey on over there and see. I'm just going to show you. We're not going to hire somebody, obviously. Okay, but what would happen if you went over to freelancer.com and you said, hey, I need a guest writer? Okay, there's a couple of different things that you could do. You know what? Let's go to Elance instead. You can go over to freelancer.com yourself and kind of poke around there. Let's go here and click on Find Talent. So elance.com, we click on Find Talent, and let's browse. So if we browse, we want to search contractors. So let's go into writers, search article writers. Okay, these are all the different article writers. Apparently there's 40,000 article writers registered at Elance. Okay, so this person, Words You Want, is an article writer. They have 1,300 positive feedbacks, and they've sold over $700,000 in writing and translation. Okay, so you click on that, you read about this person, their job history. Okay, they've done 1,000 jobs. They've gotten 4.9 recommendation. 97% would recommend them again. Okay, let's see. Sometimes these sites will tell you how much that they want to be paid. Okay, it tells you all about what they do, and then you can contact them. Contact or post a job. Now you can also post jobs where you say, hey, I need somebody to write 10 articles and bid. But this is a convenient way because you look at this and you can really find the best of the best. You can click contact, and then you can send them a instant message or however it works. So each of the websites is different. Okay, so that's how you can find guest writers. Okay, or you can write your own content. I'm going to share that with you how to do that in a different video. Okay, so I've shared with you how you're going to have your big picture. You're going to write a 10 by 10 matrix first, so that all of the articles that you write, once you've written 100 articles, you'll basically have written a book. And then you can publish that as an ebook for sale. You could make it into a physical book for sale, whatever you want to do. And you could maybe make a 10 by 15 or 20 by 20 and have a 400-page book when you're all done. Okay, I hope you're getting the ease and the clarity of writing with intent. So instead of just writing a random email every day, write yourself an outline and then work from that outline. So that's one way to do it. Okay, a few other ways that you can do it. One is to write with an affiliate product in mind. Okay, that's probably what I'm going to do for real when I do this campaign. It's not the way I do all campaigns, but because that's been the focus of this training, that's probably what I'm going to do. And when we get to it, I'll show you. Okay, and the way that you would do this is you would say, okay, I want to promote a certain affiliate product. Maybe you want to promote Marlon Sanders' traffic program. And so then you would say, okay, you go get Marlon Sanders' traffic program. You see I think there's 17 different traffic sources. You could write one article a day on each traffic source. And then at the end of the article, you could say, hey, if you like this content, you'll love Marlon Sanders' traffic program. Click here to take a look at it. And then some people will buy it. Okay, do you see how easy that is? Okay, I wrote this down right with the topic in mind. I mean, obviously, if you're writing from a 10 by 10, you'll be writing with the topic in mind. This write with complete picture in mind, this is the idea that all you have to do is write from one 10 by 10 matrix. And when you're done, you'll have a 100-page book. You'll have 100 articles or blog posts. So let's say, for example, 50 articles and 50 blog posts. And you'll have 50 emails in your email campaign. You liking this, folks? You liking this? Excellent. And let's go ahead and close this out. Again, your assignment to follow through with this is to create your own 10 by 10 matrix in your own business. Let's go ahead and we'll close this out now. We'll see you next time.